Every week we do live trade reviews with our members to analyze our daily trades. Here is a sneak peek of one of those sessions.
Okay, great. So I wrote on this chart everything, and I'm going to walk through it. Okay, I've got QCOM. QCOM was obvious in play. We all know that. Okay. It went up for a potential opening range breakup on the 5, but it could not get past this 50 moving average resistance. So just note that. Look at this gigantic gap up right there. Okay? And there was a comment on one of my YouTube videos about the harmonious chart always happens when there is a gap up. And I told him, no, it's actually fairly rare, even with a big gap up or down. And so you see this moving average, even with this gigantic gap up, because of how the pre-market action was created over here from the gap, the 50 moving average on the 5 was still acting as resistance. It wasn't. So I'm going to theorize, everyone, if this 50 moving average wasn't there for people to take profits on, to catch a reversal, and to not trade into, much greater chance of it breaking over. And you can see it never even broke over that range on decent volume. Okay? So when that occurred, hold on. When that bounced off that, I wouldn't long into that. I couldn't long into it to begin with. Okay? Because that's longing into resistance. I waited for it to come down here. Okay? And now I can't short it right here also, because then I've got the 200 moving average acting as support. So I can't do that. But what I saw is on the 1, it dumped down here and it went up to the 9 moving average. Okay? So I shorted it and then I accidentally just hit a hotkey mistake. This is an accidental stop out and I instantly got back in. I did not mean to get out. So I shorted at the resistance, which was on the 5. Important, the pullback on the 1 did not create a new 5-minute high. So if the pullback happened to create a new 5-minute high, I would be shorting against traders who want to trade a new 5-minute high, like an engulfing, right? That would have been engulfing, and we know how powerful that is. But since it was still within a 5-minute low and not a new high, and it was acting under this resistance on the 5, I've got the support of the 9 moving average on the 1. I've got the support of the resistance of the 9 moving average on the 1, the 200 on the 5, and it's in a gigantic 15-minute candle for a bear, just for a leg down, and I don't have any moving average I'm trading into. So even with this gap up, I'm still under all the moving averages, which is a really cool thing. Okay, that's actually really cool. I hope that makes sense. So I shorted at the resistance, got in a second time as this candle was breaking, and I put my stop right at this level, and it almost stopped me out right here, but I just had a hard level at 77.45 or something, and I got out at a 3-to-1. Okay, so playing the pullback to resistance for another leg down versus trying to catch a reversal at this early time on this 1 5-minute candle because it was under everything. So I really like that trade. Does that make sense, and is there any question? Even though it's the gap up, I've got the harmonious chart downward, in new 1-minute lows, 2-minute lows, 15-minute, 5-minute lows, downtrends, going for the pullback for a short. Any questions on that? Because if you could, I love that short. The spread, I wasn't worried about the spread. It was, I don't know, 5 or 6 cents. I didn't care about the spread in this time. I think it was 5 or 6 cents if I remember wrong. Maybe 9 cents when I got it. Okay, there's a lot going on in that trade, but I really wanted to explain it because if you can buy pullbacks that don't trigger new 5-minute highs and are under a 5-minute incoming resistance like this 200, it's like such a sure thing. It is interesting for Ecom, and I know it's rare when you get the harmonious chart downward after the big gap up, but I agree with you. This, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it hit the moving average, and I just got filled with the hotkey. I'm almost positive this was not a limit order filled. I used the hotkey on this. I'll share that too later if I have time, but I'm gonna focus on your guys' trades now. Was I tempted to Nigel, are you saying was I tempted to enter short on this candle? Is that your question? Oh, this one. No, I was not tempted to. I did not. With this big gap up on the daily, I was kind of long biased to be honest with you. Then when it rejected this, I didn't have a long play. Then it would have been under VWAP, so I didn't have a long play. And then there was no sign of anything, so then I became short, but I was not going to short into this level because this could easily bounce. When it didn't, and then retested it, that's like my A1 picture perfect setup. Like anything over here, it wouldn't have been my setup. This pullback is the setup. It greatly reduces the risk. Like here is my risk is like that. Like honestly, it's like that. And it's a really solid risk because of that incoming 200. Yep, that's really important. If that wasn't there, it would be a tougher play for me to do.